Welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you're having good luck with your gardening and all of your projects. And without further ado, let's get to today's project. What do you think, Ollie? Okay, I'll show them. All right, today's project was electrical. So we've got our breaker box. So this shipping container is going to have its own independent breaker. We already ran all the wiring for all the things. We've got 12 outlets in here. And there's no such thing as too many outlets, I promise you. I've never had an instance where I said, doggone it, why do I have so many outlets? Instead, it's always the opposite. I wish I had another one. So we put an outlet about every 8 feet. There's 12 in total. Over on this end where the window is, I put 2 outlets because there's going to be probably an office desk here, so we can have plenty of plugins. And then we have this one here. This is a dedicated outlet for the air conditioner. So this one's up higher than the others so that it looks different. So I did that on purpose so I don't plug anything else into that because I just want that one dedicated to air conditioning and that's it. And it's going to have its own independent 30 amp breaker. And then all the rest of the outlets are stringed together, daisy chained. And then we've got our air conditioning power is run up through the ceiling. So we just drilled a hole through the 2x4 and we'll run it across the ceiling. And we'll probably put some legs or something to hold the wiring up. That way when we put the drywall in, the screws don't go into the wiring. And then same with over here. We have this exposed area here. And we're going to put a metal plate over this so that when we screw the drywall in, the screws will not go into the wiring because that would be a big no-no. And we'll do the same thing over on this side. Only because the hole is close to this outer surface because you can't fit a drill in here, so I had to do some angled drilling. So we'll just put a piece of steel right there to cover it, and then when we're putting drywall on them, we don't accidentally zap the screws through that wiring. It's going to be fine everywhere else because the screws aren't going to go this deep. This is about 2 inches. The screws only go about halfway. 1 inch and one and a quarter or something like that. And then we've got our light switch here. So this will be a light switch for the lights inside, and then a light switch for the light that I'm going to install out here. And then one of my subscribers was asking about the door frame, worried about it not being sturdy, not being attached very well, but you can't lift the door and move the wall. Like, it does not move at all. And then once we do the spray foam, the entire the interior skeleton, I guess you would call it, the framework, will be glued to the wall essentially by the spray foam. So the shipping container and the frame will all be one object. It'll be all one solid object. So right now, there's about an eighth of an inch of play from left to right here in this gap up here, and then on the other side. So that's why there's a little wiggle. But the door frame itself is double, quadruple reinforced. So we have two 2x4s on this side. The top has 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 2x4s. And then the back side has 4 2x4s as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's really sturdy. The door frame is attached all the way around. I countersunk some screws hiding behind the seal, the door seal, so you can still see them, but they're not very obvious. And I just did that all the way around. Even though there are big screws that go through the hinges, I wasn't really happy with those because some of them were poking out and not going through all the studs. So we countersunk some 3.5 inch long screws here too, so in between each one all the way down. And then underneath this rubber piece right here, there's screws attaching it to the floor as well. And then obviously it's filled in with expanding foam all the way around. And if you're wondering how I cut the expanding foam, it's quite simple. Just get an old steak knife and you just simply pretend like you got a really soft piece of steak and you just cut that flat and it'll cut right down. And we did it at a small angle, so this portion goes in just a little bit, so it's not flush with the studs. So when we put the drywall on, there won't be any lumpy spots or anything like that. And then all the gaps up here are filled with black silicone. So this is all completely sturdy. We can slam the door, it doesn't do anything. See, it's quite secure. And then obviously we do have the shipping container doors on the outside for extra security. And we've got, here's our lights. We've got these puck lights. Very efficient LEDs, obviously. It says these are water rated, but I really hope we don't have water in here. If we do, we got some other issues going on. So we got a dozen of these guys, 2 6-packs of them, and those will be going up in the ceiling. And then once the drywall is done, and then they come with a little hole size template. So I went and bought a specific hole saw that goes up to 7 inches, and this is for drywall. It's for doing just this, you know, doing this particular thing. So this will be perfect. But that'll be way down the road. The next thing we need to do is get the CNC plasma cutter up and running, and I need to cut the brackets out for the roof, and I need to weld those along the edge on the outside perimeter. And once those are welded on, then we can start with the expanding foam, and we'll do the spray foam. We're going to buy a bunch of big kits, do-it-yourself kits, come in two parts, I think, in these 2 pretty large cans, and then you just mix those. It comes with the whole thing. It mixes them all together, and then we'll figure out how that's going to work. But like I said, it should attach the frame to the metal wall, so it'll all be one solid object. So I mean, this doesn't wiggle much. You barely hear it touching, but once the spray foam's installed, that thing will be solid as a rock solid. I think that's it. Yeah, we got 12 outlets in here. We're going to do 12 lights, and we may do something with as far as the ceiling goes. I think we're just going to do like 1-inch foam board up there instead of trying to do spray foam, because I just feel like it's going to make a big mess. And there's a 14-inch cavity in between this 2x4 and the actual roof. And the roof is just hammered and beat to heck, so it's not flat or square anywhere. So I think we're just going to slap some 1-inch foam board up there. I think that'll be the easiest, because we can just slide them in between the ribs and then just glue them down. I think that's what we're going to do. Oh, our window's all done. Kind of see what it looks like on the outside a little bit. See the metal frame I made out of scraps. It's all scrap steel, so it's got a nice rusty look on it. Actually, we can climb out the window and look at it from the outside. If I don't fall on my face. There we go. There we are. And this is just old warehouse racks. I got a pile of them right there. I just cut up what I needed to build this. The top part is square tubing that came out of an old couch that was in the trailer. We just stripped the couch down and took all the steel out of it, and I just welded those together. Little spot welds every 6 inches. And it's all sealed. It's got black silicone all the way around. It's welded all the way around. All the cavities are filled with foam so we don't get bees trying to make nests in there. Speaking of that, we better put the screen back on, but that's it for today, you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, pop those in down below. Give us a thumbs up. And as always, keep building and try to be good to each other. Some of us aren't here for very long, and a little bit of kindness will go a long ways. So God bless you all, and peace. His and hers shipping containers. Why is hers better than mine?